What's going on, everybody? This is Dan French. This is the podcast, the French Workbench podcast. And we have a lot of good information today. We have a couple people back in studio. We have a special guest. She's from SunWest Custom Homes, and her name is Patty Martinez. And Patty, thank you for coming in today. I want to talk to you a little bit about what SunWest is all about. Also, your history of coming in and just talk to us about, you guys as a home builder and how you kind of got into all this and what your role is.
Sure. All right. So go now.
Go now.
Right.
And go. And go.
And thank you for having me here today. That's very lovely.
Patty, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. So SunWest Custom Homes has been around since the late 70s. So Cynthia Coletti started SunWest Custom Homes. She was the first female contractor on the whole west side of Florida.
Wow. Back
in the day. Mm-hmm. And she started the company, and she was there for several years.
You said the whole west side of Florida?
Whole west side of Florida.
Wow.
She was the first female contractor. It was kind of cool. It's a neat historic moment.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
Yep. And so she founded the company, and then her and her son, Dan Coletti, moved to Colorado Springs after that, and they were there for about 6 years. And then right when they started to come to Las Vegas was about 32 years ago. So they came here, and they've been here ever since. And now Dan Coletti is the owner and runs the company and does all that. Cindy has stepped back. She lives here in Las Vegas, but she now is handed the reins over to her son. So,
awesome. Patty, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming in. We're going to really dive deep into this.
Right.
I also wanted to let everybody know Brett's back. Brett Jenny from Simply Vegas. He's been on here quite a few times. Brett, what's going on, man? How you feeling today?
It's kind of mellow Saturday, man. You know, for once. Compared to the last couple of weekends, have been pretty crazy with people. And so
well, I noticed today that there was a lot of people that were not calling me. Usually on a Saturday, my phone is just ringing off the hook.
It was heaven. Nobody heard that.
It was pretty crazy because normally it's like Saturday morning, everybody's got the day off.
Right.
Dude, as soon as 8 a.m., I'm just like, I sit there on the phone, like, people just couldn't wait to call me. They were just like, just waking up, can't wait to get 8 o'clock.
So Patty, we're going to go over this. I want to kind of, everybody sees here right now the innovative designs. This is from SunWest Custom Homes website. This is a nice website. Obviously, you guys put some money into this. Yeah. So if somebody's coming on here and they just want to get a little bit more insight, do you know how to maybe direct some of this traffic to maybe start looking at, and what is your price range? What do you guys typically deal with as far as the starting point of homes, and just kind of lay it out there to us?
Sure. So again, SunWest Custom Homes, we do a lot of the very, very high-end luxury. Okay, so about the smallest custom home we generally build is around 7,000 to 8,000 square feet.
Okay.
And up. Yeah. So those are our small ones.
Isn't that amazing?
Just a damn cottage, I tell you.
Well, there you go. And you'll see
added on a couple million on it, yeah. Starting.
Yeah. So, I used to say 5,000 square feet, but people just aren't building them that size anymore. They're starting around 7,000 or 8,000.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I didn't ever tell you who I am, though. I am the director of sales and marketing for SunWest Custom Homes.
Okay.
So I am kind of the first stop. So when you have questions, please call me, and we can give out my information later. But when you go onto our website, the one thing you will see is if you go to the About tab and you go down, you'll see Dan Coletti, who is the owner of SunWest now, and he does all of our designs.
Yeah, let's take a look at that real quick.
Do it.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I guess.
yeah, let's take a look at
works.
it. So you saying keep scrolling down?
If you go back
About.
up. Yeah, there's an About
Okay.
There,
tab.
bud.
Okay.
And again, that'll tell you who you're dealing with.
Who you're dealing with right here. Okay.
If you go down.
Scroll down.
Yep, and go down a little bit further.
There's a nice little video of somebody there.
Yeah. Well, that was Rich McDonald from McDonald Highlands.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that testimonial video. He's
go.
A big fan of ours, which is nice.
There's Mr. Coletti right there.
Yep, on the left is Dan Coletti. Again, he's the owner, and he does all of our residential designs. And then on the right is my husband, Carl Martinez.
Oh.
He's the president of construction, and he's been with Dan for about 35 years. Okay. And he builds them. So Dan designs them, Carl builds them. And we, as SunWest and Carl, have built, over 500 homes now with SunWest Custom Homes.
How did your husband and Dan hook up originally?
That's a fun story. So in Colorado Springs.
Always should be.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
They actually met through a friend at a restaurant one day when Dan and his mom had just now moved to Colorado Springs.
Okay.
And they found out that all of them were into motorcycles, and they all dirt bike ride.
So they met in Colorado Springs, just out
randomly.
And about?
A friend introduced them at a restaurant.
And Dan... Okay.
And they started riding motorcycles together and then realized that they worked well.
Were you guys in Colorado Springs or just out there?
I grew up here in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So I'm a 47-year person. So
gotcha.
Not quite native, but almost.
Close.
But yeah, so they started in Colorado Springs and they were out there for several years, and then they ended up moving to Las Vegas.
What brought them to Vegas?
So, well, another funny story. Colorado Springs, the market kind of went down a little bit, and they were like, well, let's venture out to California. So Dan and his wife packed up and started heading out to California. The West is the best. Well, I tell you what. And they ended up stopping in Las Vegas just as a pit stop and ended up, hey, we love it here. This is cool. Yeah. And then Dan called Carl and said, get out here right now. So they came. Yeah, and it was magic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you go with who you can trust and you know does the job. And
right.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, to have that kind of relationship for that long, especially kind of in a business like this.
It's amazing. It's
in this town, in this business, that's a damn miracle.
Yeah, they are a beautiful partner, so which is really nice. But Sunwest Custom Homes, again, we're a design build company, and we only do one-off, unique, one-of-a-kind custom homes. So we take out a fresh sheet of paper with every client. They give us their wish list. We help them, if we can, to pick out their lot. You know, we'll join forces with the agent or whatever to go help them, and then we design a brand new.
I know Dan has like award-winning designs, like as an architect. I mean, like world-renowned. You know, and which is like a double threat because I didn't know his background of his mom. Dick and Troy. I just thought, you know, hey, here's a guy who, by nature of what he does in architecture, hey, it makes sense to own a building company as well, but to have that as a background, and then it turns out you have this world-renowned skills in architecture too.
Yeah, he's amazing.
That's crazy.
The cool part where his mom comes in, what she taught him when he was very young about, you know, what females look for in a kitchen or in a master bedroom or bathroom. And then of course he's a dude. You know, he loves cars and motorcycles, and so he totally does the garage guy zone stuff. So he's got the best of both worlds. Where when he designs a home, he can look at it from the female perspective and from the guy perspective. Yeah, so it's because
his designs are. I mean, I've seen them.
Amazing.
I mean, obviously on the websites and stuff like that, but yeah, he's absolutely the way. Even the lots that he picks out, and the way he has certain things angle and stuff with it. I mean, it's
right. He always tries to.
He's incredible. Yeah, he is. I mean, he's world renowned.
Yeah,
basically.
So let me ask this question.
Well, give credit where credit's due.
Right.
It's a tough business too, so to stand out in something like that's a whole nother.
So on that clientele too is just a different stratosphere, right? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that still get the same idea. I mean, we're talking about very high end custom homes, but the reason I have you in here is because I think a lot of people maybe have the same questions when they go see a new home build. It could be anywhere from $200,000 to $5 million or $10 million or whatever it is. They always want to know, like, what is that process and how does it work, and what do clients look for? How do they get involved? Like, as far as knowing their options for upgrades, you know, what is the difference between a custom home versus somewhere like more of like a cookie cutter home?
Well, they're all custom. I'm assuming it's whatever their wish list is, and then they start getting the materials and everything else and implement that around that. Versus everything else, like they're at a level where they make Blue Heron look like D.R. Horton.
Yeah,
you know. I mean, I'm not the.
Blue Heron's a good builder,
and Blue Heron's an exception, a class all by itself. I'm just telling you that those guys are.
Well, I think one thing that sets us apart a lot is the fact that we are a unique one-off custom home builder. So we don't ever duplicate designs. You know, again, Dan takes out a fresh sheet of paper with every client. So that's what they get from us. One of the big, huge differences with custom versus production homes,
right,
is just materials, first of all, because you know, when you are doing production, generally they will do like 2x4 construction versus 2x6 or higher, you know, on our side, or we'll put steel in our buildings depending upon how huge
everything's just a little bit bigger.
Stronger. They build 10, 12, $15 million homes. At that level, people want what they want. I
Right.
assume it's
Right.
what they want. It doesn't like
mean,
the cost doesn't. It's they want what they want.
Look at this view
And
right
they want
here.
it designed by someone with a name.
So these types of homes right here, like with these pools, I mean, this is
Right.
exotic, man. This is crazy, right?
Dude, I'm telling you, even the way he designs everything out here with the angles of the city, it's all like with the elements. I mean, I read a whole thing on it. It's crazy.
Right, and one of the great things about the way Dan designs the homes, he doesn't only just do the home; he does the pool and the landscape too. Of course, we always have our partners come along. You know, once he designs the house and the pool, then he'll hand it to the pool company to engineer and structurally make it.
And then he
proper,
just
but-
oversees it as
but
it's.
he designs everything together, you know, because your lot isn't just your home, and it's not, you know, we don't let the pool guy come and do a separate gig. You know, it's all your house and your pool and your landscape are all integrated.
Like Frank
together.
Lloyd Wright did that.
Yeah.
He did. He would design it down to the plates to be used for dinner.
If somebody's trying to say, okay, so I get a lot of people where there's a lot of information where I can give them just enough where it's like, okay, you know, this is kind of the process. But it seems like right now, even is it for those, what do you call them? Not custom homes. What is the other terminology? Production. It seems like there's not a lot of homes on the market, or they're just getting taken away really quick. And are you guys going through the same process where I know it's custom and you got to pay it up front, but what is the demand for custom homes right now?
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we.
I bet.
Yeah, we're kind of getting inundated. Our whole valley isn't, you know, from a real estate perspective, we know that things that are on the market are getting sold off, and we also know that things that are in production are getting sold off right now. Even homes, you know, in McDonald Highlands or Escaya or wherever.
You're having some serious California money move here.
Massive.
Well, our business,
like they're not rich, they're wealthy.
yeah, they're very wealthy, right?
Like generations deep. They're not, you know.
And it's nice, though, you know, when they come here, they expect, you know, that a house here that's a $10 million home would be $25 million there.
Absolutely.
So they're thinking they're getting a bargain, which is great for us.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's all the way down to whatever level.
Yes.
But that's crazy that I was just saying to him last week, I'm like, I've never had more buyers between the $700 and $1 million price point as a regular agent in my entire life. It's crazy. And that's all the way up the board. I mean,
Yeah. All the way
even
up.
when you're talking 10, 12, $15 million homes.
Right.
Because it's all the same kind of theory, where they're coming from. Because there's all different levels, right? So even at that level, when they're coming here and saying, yeah, like you said, it's like that's $30 million in LA.
What is so when somebody walks in, like what is this?
You need to pay that not to get a neighbor here.
Well, we all know, we talk about this. You deal with a lot of new home builders, right? That's
Yeah,
a lot of people are coming for new homes.
Oh
right?
yeah, of course, yeah.
Everybody,
but I mean,
right?
not
This, but see,
I wish.
Okay, so let me ask this question, and I don't want to pry into too far, but do you guys have a lot of high end celebrities or people that are?
Yes,
right. Like
I don't need to know that to know that.
Well, let me just explain. No, a lot of Raiders players and people like that are I don't know about, you know, but stuff like that, like the Golden Knights, people like that have like serious money. They're coming here. Are they buying custom homes, or is it really like even more wealthier people than that?
A little bit different categories than that sometimes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me
Maybe
just-
not the athlete, but the owner of the team.
Right.
Maybe.
Let me just and we're not doing his house, by the way, which is sad.
I'm
wish-
just saying,
Yeah.
you know, that level though, that's the difference.
Yeah, and I tell you, you know, it's kind of funny that the more people that are coming here, more like the tech gurus and the, you know, there's some big names coming in here that are not necessarily celebrity, but they're big monies. But I'm going to caveat with the players. You know, a lot of people think that, all the Raiders are going to be buying a bunch of houses. Well, no, they're not, because a lot of them are in the smaller, you know, categories of funds. And some of them don't even know if they're still going to be on the team a year or two from now. So a lot of those guys are coming to town and renting. You know,
League
first.
minimum's $450. So don't get me wrong, $450 is good, but you're not making $10 million a year, bro.
No,
Right.
And you're not signing a 5-year contract.
Right.
Like exactly,
Right.
it's
So-
here, and then you don't know where you're gonna.
They have to be careful.
Yep,
I think,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think the Golden Knights are more, and some of them too, are, you know, are they don't even know if they're going to be on the contract for another year or two.
So this is like the elite.
careful.
They always talk about the top 20% tile. This is
No, dude, these are the 1%.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, these are the 1%. They are. I mean, there's. Well, I mean,
or just people that have done really well, with,
Yeah.
you know, investing. and, you
yeah,
know,
there are. I mean, listen. There's different levels, no matter who you are, man. You
Right.
take someone who's at that level, and there's a Saudi prince, dude. You know, I mean,
Well, and,
You know.
and I don't want to unqualify people too, because when you really think about it, if you break it down, it depends on where you're looking to build.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking in these hills and you want the strip as your view, and you want that particular lot, some of the locations around town, whether it's Askaya or McDonald Highlands or the Ridges, whatever, some of those half-acre lots with those strip views can be $1 million, $1.5 million just for the dirt.
Yep.
So you're already starting with a big, huge.
You're paying
investment
for the exclusivity of it. Absolutely, and they have the money to do it.
Right, and it goes up from there. And some of these guys want either 1 or 2 or 3 acre lots. And
Quick question. So I assume almost everybody at that level, they're doing cash.
What's funny is it used to be that way, and then now that interest rates are so low,
Really?
some of them are really taking advantage of some of the interest rates. But they don't.
Yeah,
they
that
don't
makes
do,
sense.
They don't only get to put 10% down.
Yeah,
when you're
yeah,
in
yeah,
that
that's what I'm
category,
like.
Yeah, you're putting at least
What's
50%
the financing on that level got to be?
down. Right.
Seriously.
And then that's when lenders come into play, is because some people will ask, well, does my dirt, can I get a loan? No, generally not.
What
all
percentage
lenders
do they
will
have to
lend
do
dirt.
for down on something like that?
Usually they want 50%. I mean,
50?
Lender perspective.
But if you're
yeah.
getting the other, if you could technically do it cash and you're getting the other half for free money.
See, sometimes
I
they
get
keep
it.
their money liquid so they can do other investments where they'll make more than just 2.5% or 3% of a loan they can get. So some of these guys can make more with their money.
Absolutely. And they know how to make money off their money, or they wouldn't be.
Or they wouldn't be buying one of our
There you go. Or they wouldn't be buying their homes.
So, Brad, let me say this.
Comes full circle.
Okay, so, I would say this. So, do these people usually come in with their own realtor? Like, meaning they already have somebody that's already been assigned to them, where it's like because you got to think, man, they got like referral fees and stuff, and people like know somebody, and it's like,
dude,
when you have a client that high, like they're not going to just be like, hey, let's go find somebody on Zillow,
No, what's your experience? I know what I think my thoughts would be, but
do you know what? Actually,
know.
just recently, I've had both. So
Really?
Remember, I don't know if you remember, we had our show home in McDonald Highlands for the past 4 years.
Yes.
And so I used to sit at the show home, and I met a lot of people. So I had one gal come back to me just recently who saw our show home about 2 years ago, and she called me directly.
Yeah.
But then I had literally just a couple months ago a realtor that I had dealt with, in the show home and with other homes, call me up and say, I've got a client from California moving to Las Vegas and he wants to build a custom home. And so that was from a relationship, from a realtor. So I've had it both ways.
I'm sure a realtor's commission is insequential at that level.
Well, I mean,
because it's
it's kind of like
put it in the price.
It's kind of comparing like what's the differences between normal development homes, custom homes, and the type of realtors and the type of clientele. It's just it's a different strategy.
Well, on their end, it's whether you're a DR Horton or they're them, they're a business and a corporation looking to make money.
Yeah.
So if someone's bringing you business, you'll find. You conduct your business accordingly to how it needs to be done and factor everything into that.
And I have realtor calls all the time. Just saying, hey, what? I've got this client, and do they even? Are they even in your world?
Yeah.
And I'll talk them through just some budgetary, words, and
Sure.
And they'll be able to go, oh, okay, well, my client's not there, but it's good to know for the future reference.
If I had a client that was in the 5 to 7 range, would that be something you guys could do something with?
Yes. So,
you see, that's the level they're at. I even have to ask.
Yeah. No, it's true because you got to hit the minimum qualification. That's the minimum.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, would it be worth your time or not?
What's the highest home you guys actually sold? I'm just curious. Give me a ballpark,
dude.
Okay, so we've built. You say sold, but built for. Right?
Built for.
Okay, so, and I don't want to go with dollars, but I will go with square footages. Okay, so we've built here in town over 25,000 square feet. We're designing 2 right now that are about 22,000 square feet.
Okay, how long do those take to build, realistically? 2 years?
About 2 years. Yeah.
Brett, you want to sign up?
I'm trying not to swear at it.
You want to sign up, Brett?
Get out! No.
Oh my gosh!
But really, we have a timeline, and so here's a little bit of a process. So the design phase can take about 4 or 5 months, and then it takes about 2 months for permitting. So the whole front end of it can take about 6 months, and then on a 7,000 or 8,000 square foot home up to about 9,000 can take about maybe a year to build. And then any, 10, 12,000, 15,000, that would take about a year and a half. And then you're talking these 20,000 square foot.
So
homes take about 2
initially,
years.
hey, we want you guys to build for us. You say, okay, that sounds good. Everything, paperwork and everything's legal. You start to process. So you said that first thing you guys do is you basically collect their wish list.
That's the first thing.
So when you do that, then is the first meeting or first meetings Dan sitting down with them and getting an idea of that, and then him going out to the lot and kind of putting it all together in his head and then coming up with his design. And then once he does that, like
I see it like being like the Ritz-Carlton. Like they roll out the red carpet, it's like they got everything set up, they come in.
Well,
it's
they're coming specifically for Dan's design, dude. I mean, a lot of them.
That's what I'm saying. They're hopping out of their Rolls Royce,
Yeah, because I'm not saying Dan's like that, and I've never worked with him, so I don't know.
He's amazing.
But it's like Frank Lloyd Wright, like. You didn't tell him anything about his design. He's like, here's your effing design, and like, because he was like that. So I know Dan's at a world level, and I'm sure Dan's not like that. But how much of it is, this is what I came up with, and I want to stick within this parameter, or is it all just what the buyer?
So it's a little bit of both. And what happens is people have visions in their head of what they want in their custom home. And again, with the wish list, which we prefer like a bullet point, what's a little confusing sometimes is if people come in and go, I sketched out a drawing of, and you go, okay, wait, stop. That's
Dan
my job.
must love that.
Yeah. that's a little
like
harder.
Someone come to me and be like, I saw HD TV. I'm like,
yeah.
Get out the... All right, sorry.
It's okay. But when they give us a bullet point wish list, the cool part is kind of like what you just said. Dan already has a reputation of his designs, and he's very much into open space and the views and being able to capture all of that,
it's like,
and indoor outdoor feel.
You know why you're going to him. Why would you not ultimately
give him your
here's
your
what
baby.
I want.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
This is why we're coming to you.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun actually to be able to compete, but also be friendly with your competition or your other builders. And so if the Street of Dreams would ever come back to Vegas, it would be a lot
different
of fun.
world now here, isn't it?
Yeah. And he just, I've been in touch with the Street of Dreams guy, and it's been a little while, and, he just needs to be able to have enough, at like 5 or 6 or 7 builders to be able to do this, because you're really actually building a spec home, and you got to be able to have enough to capital to put out to, and then
that's kind of the point I was getting at, which is, man, that's some money to shell out ahead. Just that lot alone.
Just to let it sit on it. Right.
Those things don't sell like tomorrow. Like they...
Yeah. And one of the houses out in the Ridges was one of those really big ones that was just listed for sale for $30 million that we built.
$30 million, I think then.
Yeah. So
wow. Did it sell?
No, it's for a customer. So we were building.
Okay.
Most of the time, most of the homes we build are for clients. We don't generally do spec homes. We did our show home that we had at McDonald Highlands for a while, and then we've done the 2 New American homes. So we were very fortunate to be awarded the 2019 and the 2020 New American homes.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother conversation we can have. But so those were spec homes as well. But generally, we build for clients.
Yeah.
So
you guys, I always get a lot of people that come in and they're asking, I know it's kind of crazy, but they always ask like, what's comparison between a custom like that, where if you're going to go buy a new home or you're going to buy an existing home, pros and cons, right? We have a lot of people that come from California, out of state, and they got a lot of money. Okay, you guys are seeing this too, where it's almost resetting the market, because is it now where you guys
That's a good way of putting it, resetting the market.
Yeah, because now it's like, hey, you know what? There's a limit that you guys had before, but with all this money coming in, it might have been $2.5 million. Have you guys seen an increase in the starting point for custom homes? You know what I mean? I know everybody kind of like has that number, but is it where?
What's the criteria, I guess?
Yeah.
So if you guys are really busy, you can only build so many homes at once. So you're coming towards that max point. What's your decision on who you're going to continue to get new business from or do new business with? As far as someone comes in and says, if you have say you're at that point where you're like, we're basically full, we can't, we're maxed out right now, and you get 5 more very interested people. within, say, a month. First of all, is that a realistic scenario or not?
No.
Okay.
Especially for the homes that we do design and build in the category that we're in.
So that's not really an issue too much?
Yeah, we don't really have that too much.
Okay.
And if it were to become an issue...
No, it makes sense. I just didn't know.
You know, I mean, so let's just use a Mr. Smith out there, you know, a big guy wants to come in and design something, and maybe we're backed up a little bit, which would, you know, is rare, but true, can happen. We would just start the design process with him and just kind of, you know, take our time with that and maybe let the next 2 weeks kind of float and still have his wish list and still work on his thing. And then
it's not. Yeah, it's not like anyone's going to be delayed months and months and stuff like that. Okay. Oh yeah. So
no.
Yeah.
No, it's not a thing.
I mean, I figured at that price point, I just didn't.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, it's crazy right now.
It is. And in answer to your question about the monies, what drives our custom home prices up is materials.
I got you.
And so, like when China years ago was buying up all the concrete and you couldn't find concrete anywhere, all of a sudden the price of concrete went through the roof.
Buying up all the concrete.
You know, I mean, they were. And then they were buying up all of our steel because they were, you know, doing some kind of huge things there in China. This was about 5 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
And that drove the prices up a lot too. So it really, and if there's a big, huge storm somewhere in Colorado and we can't get lumber, you know, that'll drive prices up. So materials today, compared to 5 years ago, have driven the prices up.
So it takes, say, a year and a half, 2 years to build a house, and the materials that were picked out at the very beginning, do you order everything at the very beginning to avoid, like, okay, we're not going to be putting so-and-so in for another year and a half down the road, but if you wait a year and a half down the road or even 6 months later to order it, because say it takes 6 months to get whatever it is, you're paying higher. Right. So do you order everything up front?
We order a lot of stuff.
And then, so with that, is there a certain deposit requirement? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it depends on what we're talking about.
Level.
So the cool part about SunWest, again, I'll have to say, we have really good processes. My husband, again, has built over 500 homes here. So he's got his, like, processes down.
I'm sure.
And we never, you know, order things out of place and then the job site sits for 6 months waiting on stuff to get here from Italy. You know, most of the time, as soon as the trusses drop, they're ready to be put up. Or the lumber drops. He's got the
system down so well, he just knows.
Yeah.
Just window. Okay.
And so same with cabinets or same with countertops and whatnots.
Okay.
And so, you know, there's a process of when all of that gets put in and it gets dropped off and it gets shipped.
I just didn't know if, like, say someone starts off in the beginning, it's like, okay, we're going to build an $8 million home. And then 2 years, material prices go up, and now it's 8.5 because everything went up in price. Does that happen?
No, because again, it's a timeline, and so you know you would have already been doing your concrete. You know, you've laid slab at the very beginning, so that concrete won't be a factor later.
Gotcha.
Same with lumber, blah blah. But with their allowances, those are things that generally don't go crazy in pricing. And allowances are things like appliances or light fixtures or plumbing fixtures and that sort of thing. We do, though, one of our processes is that we will order your appliances, when the client comes and we go help them pick their things out. We also do interior design, by the way. So we're a design, build, interior design, estate management, real estate. We kind of do the whole gambit for people. Yeah. And so we always assign everybody an interior designer during the process so that she can go down and help them pick out their appliances and whatnot right in the very beginning. Because when you order your appliances, the size of the cooktop you're ordering will determine the size of your countertops, which determines the size of your cabinetry. Right. It's all a big snowball. And so you have to get those things right up front. So we'll order appliances right at the very beginning. Okay. And then we end up storing them for the people. Okay. And then when it's time for appliances to drop, they can drop right in. And you don't have to worry about, we don't make that one anymore. Yeah. Now we have this one and it's two
Well, I'm assuming, especially dealing with people at that level, with that kind of money and success, that the process is down pretty good.
Pretty much to a
you don't want to be pissing off those people. Let me ask you a quick question, since we're talking about extravagance and stuff like that. Okay. So I used to work with a home inspector quite a bit, and he did an inspection on the Saudi Princess, one of his homes here, and it was a $250,000 toilet.
Wow!
What's one of the most outrageously lavished things in the years? I mean, I'm sure you've got whoppers, but something where you're just like, damn. Like, you know, like to me, to spend $250,000 on a gold toilet, like you literally shitting gold toilet. Like,
Right.
I mean, a toilet made for a king. I mean,
Yeah, I can't remember a single thing like that.
Yeah, okay.
But we did have one
because I'm sure
house-
there's so many.
We did this one house that had just the coolest basement in the world. We called it the ESPN zone, and it was the coolest basement because
Yeah.
he had the golf. You know, I don't know what that's called, that little animation
Like
thing where you can hit it
with
into that
top
wall.
golf thing.
Yeah.
They have? Yeah, okay, but he had
And
it in his
then-
basement.
Yeah, and then there was a bowling alley, and there
awesome,
was a
dude.
dance floor, and a sunken fire pit, and I mean, it was like the coolest basement in the world. So that was neat. So that everybody has just their own ideas.
There's
on the-
sometimes where
hidden rooms, like with Kevlar lined
Yeah.
panic rooms, and
Wow, really?
Yeah, some really cool stuff.
Crazy.
panic
Yeah.
room. No one's getting. They're not getting as far
Oh
as
my
your house,
gosh.
dude. Trust me.
Secret
They get
passageways.
Get past the 3-guard gates before they get up to your house. I mean, because they are. There are communities where it's like you've got guard gate, then you've got 2 more gates, and then it's.
You do, it's really it does
triple
get
guard
funny.
gated, man.
Yeah. Some of these houses, are behind a third or fourth.
No, they
gate.
are. They without a doubt they are.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're doing well, man. I got 3 gates. I'm trade.
I think a lot too is like, and like for us, Brett and I know what our clientele's. It's not like that, right? So it's like it's
Yeah,
decent, but we're nowhere near that.
Guess
So
what? 99% of the agents, it's not.
They're not.
So
They're not.
I don't
Yeah.
feel bad.
So I think what it is not only we get an insight on what you deal with, but it also gives us an insight about like how things are flowing from a builder's perspective, even though it's not the clientele that we typically work with. For instance, you're giving us some things to think about, like what is the difference between not difference, but there's only so much somebody can get on on some custom homes, right? I mean, it's custom, you can buy what you want, but is there builders where it's like, okay, we can't go that high because we just don't have the capital or the resources because it's just too far off? You know what I mean? Is it like criteria? Like, is there certain categories of people, you know what I'm saying, that maybe can buy maybe $1 million to $2 million, and then it's like, here's your builder for this, here's your builder for this, and you guys are just on the top. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah.
With licensing, with contractors' licenses, they have to qualify for certain price ranges. And so some...
Oh, there's like different designations for that?
Yeah. And so...
Wow.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that.
So,
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't know all the ins and outs. I won't pretend to be an expert, but
Yeah.
I do know that different licenses have different money ceilings to them.
Gotcha.
And so you can only
like different
build,
designations. Mm-hmm. Okay.
and if you're...
Certified this, certified that.
Yeah, and just a dollar amount,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you have to be licensed, bonded, insured for X amount of dollars.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Right.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so you can only build a $3 million house versus a $12 million
Because you can't
house.
do- yeah.
Or
Because of-
whatever
because of
with
restrictions,
Your,
right?
because
your
of
insurance
licensing
won't allow. Yeah,
restrictions.
yeah. Okay.
So that's a thing from a builder perspective. And then from a customer perspective, sometimes, again, like you said earlier, if they're on a budget, and I get these calls all the time. So trust me, and I'm always eager to help
I mean, do
people.
you
So
really
I-
realistically, though, deal with people that are on a budget?
Absolutely.
Really?
Well, I mean, people that call me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, come on, man. Like, I'm 15 million, but I got to keep it below 15.
No, but true.
I'm going
okay.
broke about that.
But rich people watch out for their money as well. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
they're
yeah,
rich.
yeah.
So trust me.
Touche.
So, yes. So that's
Yeah.
why. You
That's
will
how they became rich.
absolutely
Well, I'm not saying that they don't want a good bang for their buck and to get, great quality for what they're paying for. But, and I understand no matter how much money you have, for the most part, everyone has an idea of what they justify. And I guess it's more about what they can justify or what they want to justify versus what they can actually physically, because they can financially, I'm sure, do a lot. It's what they justify.
Yes, and
Okay.
and what because they will restrict their own selves, and they'll say, you know what, that's crazy. We're just going to stick to a 10,000 square foot home instead of a 13,000 square foot home.
That extra
Or-
3,000 is just crazy. That's for like really rich people. Sorry. I mean, what? It's just different levels, dude.
It's all relative to where we are in
No,
life.
100%. 100%.
That's crazy. And that's for me. I think that's where the big part comes in, where I don't know these questions, and it's good to get these questions answered, because when do we?
I don't either.
I've never dealt with somebody. I think the
Let me
highest
tell you
home-
something. I would love nothing more on this earth than to bring you a buyer.
Me too.
But I would say, as of right now, it's probably not going to happen in the foreseeable future.
Well, you never know.
I hope it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm trying.
I was going to say,
it's not from lack of effort.
With the people moving here, and we keep talking about California, but there's people coming here from all over. We've
New
got
York too,
Chicago,
big time.
We've got people just Seattle. We've got people coming here.
Have someone move here from Soho, but they're paying in Manhattan, dude. Nothing here.
Yeah,
you know. I mean, it's not, and they're paying that for like a 1,500 square foot apartment.
You touched on just a little bit ago about there are also people, and it's good for you as an agent to feel out the client as well, to know, are they the type client that is going to be good to be a custom home client, or should I really sell them a resale? Because some people for their life can't make up their mind on stuff. And so they're usually generally not a great candidate for a custom home, because you have to make decisions. You
Correct.
have to be able to pick out this tile versus that tile, or this wood versus that wood, or whatever. And if again, you better have, if it's a husband and wife team, they better have a good relationship, because it can be trying on a relationship as well. So,
I bet
it has to be people vet your. So I implore real estate agents to vet your clients and make sure that they are good decision
Here's
makers.
my vetting. You can afford a $10 million house. I'll take anything. Let's go. You can treat me how you want. I mean, $10 million. That's my vetting. You qualify for $10 million.
Okay.
That works.
But then sometimes
really.
you want to sell them a resale, a house that's already built, where they can just move in and go instead of having to.
But
make
new home builder, I can just stick them with a new home builder and say, "Have fun."
Yeah. Thank you. Drop off.
Let me know if you need anyone.
Yeah. Don't drop people off to me.
It's different with D.R. Horton than it is like, listen, people coming to you are not just people where you drop off. It's not going to work.
Right.
So that's not what they're looking for.
One of the coolest things, though, about what we do, and again, I'll say me specifically, is I can work with you and your clients and help you to help them select a lot or help them with their decision making or with their processes. So it's really fun right up front to be able to get with me and
absolutely.
say, hey Patty, what do you recommend? And what's their priorities? Is it the strip view, or is it a golf membership, or is it a what are their priorities? Let's talk about where they want to be first.
I would definitely want to be on your good side. It just makes it easier and smoother, and there's no reason for things to not be cool or nice.
Right.
One of the things
just
too,
Eagles that go that way.
One of the things too, though, is that you made a good point. And I'm just going to piggyback off that. Is if you're somebody out there and you don't really know what you're trying to buy custom, right? Like, let's say you don't even have an idea, and you want to just go show up, and they may give you some ideas, but I think you should probably have some type of idea discussed, with family, right, or your marriage or whoever you're with, before you get into.
I'm sure
studio.
they do, don't they? Well, that's their wish list.
Well, some people, though, I'm thinking, I think a lot of people, what they do is they're going into it. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't have an idea that, well, what can I really get and what can I buy?
But that's part of their job, I'm sure. I mean, that's why they're coming to Dan for his reputation. This is the work he does.
So they come.
Right? So
is that right?
Well, generally, too, I will always send them to the website, and I'll say, look through our gallery pictures, because you'll get to see some really cool ideas. Because, again, sometimes people, too, they don't know if they want contemporary or if they want more of the transitional
And you know what?
flavor.
I can understand when you're talking about that price point, you can afford basically relatively what you want, which is a lot of options. So it's almost like too many options.
Right. Well, because, and again, about the decision making, because they have to really kind of have a vision for what they want to do. And so I hate to say it, but budget always starts the process, because that's the first questions I get from agents is I've got a client. They told me that they want to stick to a, this is just a funny scenario.
Sure.
Okay, Patty, I've got a client. They say they want to build a custom home, but they can only spend $500,000, and they want a 2,300 square foot home. And so, and I never laugh. I'm always very nice and
Saying
cordial
go to Cleveland,
people.
Ohio.
Right. But
where nobody wants to live. But
I will always suggest, okay, so we aren't the builder for them, but I would strongly recommend that you would go to a resale, or a production home community, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So I get those calls, and I field them.
You seriously get realtors who call about five? Do they not?
Kidding.
Are they really that naive?
And even clients too.
What are they doing? Selling
clients too, because a lot of people don't.
Clients
understand.
I can understand,
right?
But an agent, dude, you don't know what they do,
right? Well,
what are you selling in this town for?
But, and again, I'm always super nice and I field a lot of questions. You know what I mean? So that can be one of those type of phone calls. And then another type of a phone call could be, Patty, I've never done this before, but I've got this guy that says that he wants to build a, 10,000 square foot home. And, I don't even know what the first step is. And I'll be like, let me help you.
Yeah.
Because that's my job.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. So that's what we do.
And you're obviously done it enough where.
Been doing it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you can tell.
What other questions you got for her, Brett? You got anything else to talk to her about?
No, man. It's interesting at that level. It just seems like kind of, a lot of the same issues and problems that all levels kind of deal with, deciding what you want and this and that. It's just at that level, it's kind of the options and everything is a little more sky's the limit. But at the end of the day, no matter who you are, everybody picks a budget.
Yes.
Everyone lives in a budget, whether it's this or this or that. It's just different levels and
what
people
their
are people.
And what their timeline is, because some people, they need to have a house, within the next 3 months. Well, they're not building a custom home then. They're going ahead and buying a resale. Or they're renting for now while their home is being built. Or
do a lot of them do that?
Some. I hate to, everybody is so different. It's really funny.
Yeah, that's true.
A guy we're going to build for right now went ahead and bought a home here while we're building his home. You know what I mean? So everybody's different.
That's like I'm telling you. Like I said that my average buyer right now is $800,000 or $900,000, and they're buying a $450,000 investment property on the side.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yes.
But that's just the same thing, but higher level.
That's crazy.
A lot higher level, but
Well, and I think too, like when you're talking about custom homes, like when you were saying before,
buying a house just the way.
what?
Well, I gotta have a place to live while my house is being built.
Well, it's the truth.
Well, it's only $1 million. Peasant money. Sorry.
And it's, it's so funny. But I
You
think
need more energy drink.
I know.
he does,
It's a
doesn't he?
Saturday afternoon, too. You should see me on a Monday morning.
Hey, he's off the walls, man. Like he's. Hey,
I just
that's
have
good.
energy.
Hey,
I just,
he's great.
You got to put me down at the end of the night.
No, I was saying though, like when you say that 500, those agents, when you said they're calling, they may be new though. They may be people.
Yeah, that's
that,
true.
They might just get into business and they're like, hey, I don't even know what
They're learning.
Yeah,
Dude, if
they're
you're
learning.
new in the business and you're getting a $10 million client, I want to learn your marketing. Other than stroke of luck, I want to know your marketing, what you're doing.
Let me say this. So, and there's a lot of high end realtors out there. Do you deal with the same clientele of realtors that you kind of see the same of? Where it's like we all know who's doing the business.
Probably.
out there, right? But it's like it's hard. You're not going to say. Well, you're not going to have. You're not going to have people come in that you don't know is what I'm trying to say, right? It's normally you see the same faces with the same people because it's all
or someone from their team.
Referral and repeat business, and everybody knows somebody. They did a good job. Is that right?
That used to be absolutely 100%. It was always the same handful of agents in town. The top
Florence.
But recently, probably in the past, 4 or 5 years, I have been meeting a lot of new names and new faces, and it's been refreshing. Even though I love our,
because all the old ones, their styles and how they would conduct their business.
Guys, you know what I mean? Like we all get along. We all,
something new.
Yeah, we all have good relationships. It's just that it's nice to see other people jumping in the picture.
Well, that's the great thing about Vegas and American capitalism, which is, I came here with everything I owned in the back of my vehicle.
Where'd you come from?
Wisconsin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Cheesehead.
I was going to say, that's a long way from home.
I came from a town of 800 people in Wisconsin, packed up everything I had, came out here, looked around and said, whoa, there's a lot of lights out here. And that was 12 years ago. Wow. But you know what? It's something where you sink or swim. And if you're someone who can adapt and survive, you adapt and survive. And the sky's the limit in this town. That's what I love about this town. So if you don't make it in this town, you don't have to have anything to make it in this town. If you don't make it, it's because of you. This town allows that.
There's a lot of opportunity.
Where I come from in Wisconsin, it's not like that. There's no, that's why I moved out here. I did real estate for 5 years there before I did here. Had an opportunity and came out here. I was like, I'll think about what I did later. Best thing I ever did, though. Let's not talk. Let's just do it.
It's funny that, and I talk to people who say they either love it or they hate it.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I've grown up here, and I just love this town so much. And
You've really seen this town. You said you've been here, what, 47 years?
47 years.
So, man, this town was, what, 150,000 when you moved here? 100,000?
Mm-hmm. And the strip was, I think, every single building has been
Isn't that
raised
crazy?
except for the flamingo or something on the strip.
Dude, I had clients a couple years ago that moved here when they were kids from California in 1959, and they said there was like 25,000 people in the. They used to ride horses to school, dude.
Well, that's been
And that was like 1958, 50 or something like that, you know. And within their lifetime, it went to 2.5, 3.
Yeah.
That's got to be insane for you because you're looking at communities and you're like, I remember we used to go out there. And,
oh my gosh!
Right? I know if you're true Vegas native.
We talk about this all the time.
We used to go out there and drink beer.
Yeah, there was nothing out there.
There's nothing, man. We used to ride out there, and you know. And now there's
now they're charging money to go
now
through
it's
Red
Summerlin.
Rock. Yeah, exactly. Now I got to pay money to drive the loop.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
No kidding. That's the thing, right? Yeah. So 12 years ago, I moved out here in 2009 when it was the thick of like the foreclosures. So a lot of people were leaving or had left this town, kind of the opposite of now. Yeah. You know, and like even like where Mesa Ridge is for Toll Brothers behind. I used to go trail running there. Wow. And now I'm like,
no, you can't.
Damn developers. No.
Damn builders.
When I got here, you guys remember Rainbow? This is when I got here. Rainbow, beyond Rainbow, when it goes out towards North Las Vegas, right? Like Northwest.
Really?
Dude, there was nothing beyond that.
What year did you move here?
Oh, I think it's been, what, 20... Actually,
wow, you've been out here a while.
18 years?
Okay. I've been out here 12.
It's been out here 18 years, but it's, to me, I think it's, I was looking at it. You ever see those, like you go on Facebook and you see like the before when Vegas was older? You know what I mean?
Show like an aerial.
It's like the vintage pictures.
Yeah.
I just saw an aerial view.
I love those.
It was like, maybe like an inch. And then if you look at it now, it's like, it's just the whole map.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm telling you,
it's crazy how fast this place
and how
has grown.
fast they can build in this town. Like even downtown Summerlin, I remember driving by that for years, and it was just that steel structure, and that was it. And then all of a sudden, now you have downtown Summerlin and the ballpark there, and
we can't get our freeways done. What
I know. Well, don't even get. Hey. Now you're talking about the government, so. When have those guys ever done anything
fast? Let's not start that.
You want something done right, have it done privately. I'm just saying.
Really, right?
Yeah.
I got a question though, Patty. So like everybody always talks about new home builds and builders and developers. Is there going to be a point where there's going to be lack of land, especially for homes that people are going to want out here? Do you think that's going to happen anytime soon?
It could. I would say that in our world, in the custom world, the people like the views of the strip. So there's only so much hillside, available for that.
Okay.
And then it will have to start getting into other areas where they've got amenities versus view. So kind of like, and I will invoke point. Summit Club. So the new Discovery Land property out there. Okay.
Right behind, Mesa Ridge.
So not all of those lots have views of the strip just because of the location of it. So some of them do, and a lot of them don't. So their amenities to that community is, of course, the privacy and the golf club.
How many homes are in there now?
Quite a few, actually.
How many are intended to go?
I think there's about 78, 80 lots out there.
That's
Ish.
How much is a lot? Minimum's like one something, isn't it, for a lot?
Oh, 3.5, would be like the least expensive lots out there. Yeah.
How big are they?
They're big.
Okay.
No, the lots aren't big. The big dollars.
Okay. Again, I used to go trail running through there. Now they have like $10 million homes. I'm like, man, I used to run through there for free, but.
3rd acre, half acre, and up, but. Yeah, they're costly.
$3 million. Okay, there you go.
I've seen $12 million for lots in there. The dirt is rather expensive at Summit Club because they offer a different lifestyle. It's a celebrity lifestyle out there. So
what do they have for the amenities in there?
Well, I'm not that I'm not favoring anybody. We're building in every community, so we are building homes in Summit, but we're also building in Astoria.
Preach, sister, preach. I want to hear it.
Favoring anybody.
I want to hear it. Come on. I love the Summit. I love that whole area. I used to live by there.
Right. So one of the things that they tout a lot is the privacy and the security. So, when you're a celebrity lifestyle, you are a high dollar person, you want privacy and you want to know that your home is secure. Because a lot of times people are, after your money.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have armed guards. They have retired SEAL team, on their security guard staff. Yeah, they're
because I remember when they were building those too. I remember when they were developing that land and building the front part that comes up with all the tree. I remember them putting it in the dirt and
yeah,
that's crazy because I haven't been in there since they've.
And then their private golf course, and so they,
didn't even know there's a golf course in there.
Major golf, yeah. And so Discovery Land as a property, they've got several communities across the nation. Like 7 or 8 different communities across.
Discovery Land?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so generally, if you own one, in wherever they're else at, you will, purchase one here in Vegas, and you'll purchase one Coeur d'Alene or whatever, wherever else they have their properties, you'll go buy one there as well. So
they're the developer of that?
Yeah. And ours is called Summit Club.
Okay.
Summit Club.
The Summit and Summit Club.
So is that just was that one developer or a bunch of developers got together and said, we've got a crap load of money and we're going to pick the spot to develop it? Basically, right?
Well, I don't know who the conglomerate is that owns it, but they generally they formed with Summerlin, so they got together with Howard Hughes company and did that together because it's at the tail end of Summerlin down there on the south side. Yeah. So it's a part of the Summerlin property, but it's owned by Discovery Land.
That's smart. So, I always said if I was going to go somewhere else to buy properties or invest in properties, I would find one of the most producing realtors there.
Yeah.
And say, listen, I'll go in on whatever you're buying, whatever you're going to invest in.
Right.
I'll go half with you or do whatever it is, because if you're involved with them in their best interest, it's going to be done right. And easier. I'm just saying that's you're going to develop somewhere. You go to that town and say, oh, let me use your bank here. Let me use.
You know what's crazy too is we always
smart business.
It's kind of funny because we always talk about this money. We got all this money that's happening that we're talking about right now. There's a lot of people that we deal with that always ask the question, is the market going to crash? Is it going to collapse? What if it does? Are we going to have a good deal on a house? What is the process of...
They probably don't care about that, do they?
That's what I was going to say.
Dude, they just want... listen, dude.
They don't...
it doesn't...
Right.
It doesn't matter to them. They want what they want. That's...
So if the housing market did suppress or something did happen, does the values for you guys? I mean, it still probably stays pretty relatively the same, right? Because you got people with money. There's a certain niche of business for that, I would think, right? Because it's custom, so it's not like a traditional way of following suit, like when you have a bunch of homes going through the same process. Because these homes we're talking about are just on another level.
They are, however, if we go back to when we had the crash back in 2008, even the top end homes went down in value. Not as much as of a hurt as the smaller houses did, but they still did go down in value, and it took a while for them to come back up again. So not, they aren't immune from the economy.
It's all relative, right? No matter what level you're at, it goes. I mean, if the economy gets impacted, I'm not saying some people are more impacted by others, but
right, and it depends on what their priorities are. Because again, we had some people that were, stopped production because of COVID. We had some people that said, no way, Jose, keep going, during COVID. We had some people stop because of the election. And then other people were like, yeah, it's not going to affect me. Keep going. So it really is all relative to what they're doing in their life. But they all do, and I hate to, we keep making jokes, but they all do have budgets because they all have in their mind, they know they want to stick to a number, and if they go over it a little bit, it's okay. But they know what they want to spend, and they try not to go too crazy.
Yeah,
because they know they want to spend their money on, the furniture or what comes later. When the grandkids come to visit, we want to buy an airplane. I don't know, whatever is their priority in life. So
it's all relative.
It's all
to the level you're at. Just like no matter if you're down here, up here, whatever it is, everyone has a budget. They want to stick with it. And everyone says, I'm not going to spend on this, so I can spend on this.
Right.
It's just whether it's an airplane or
Right. And then some people, if they'd rather put, like, let's just say that you have a client that only has a $4 million budget, let's just say. But so instead of going into one of these communities and spending $1.5 million on dirt, they might go and look in that, like, Pecos Sunset area down there, remember? And those are nicer interior lots of town. Maybe they don't have a view, but they're only $400,000, for an acre. Maybe they can get a little bit more land, and now they can put more of their budget money into their house rather than into their dirt.
That's just like a $500,000 buyer, dude, with going through analyzing in their mind. Just a different level.
Right.
What if somebody gets a loan? You said that some put 50% down, whatever it is. Let's just say that they got a loan. I know it's probably far and few a little bit, but let's say they do. How does somebody get comps on a custom home like that? Like, if you got to compare against other homes, how far do they go out? Or is there an extension of how far they can go out? Because it's probably hard to find the same exact home to compare against, right?
Yeah, we don't do like a per square house, like in production homes. You can compare the footprints.
Yeah.
Here is all about square foot. So price per square foot on a 10,000 square foot home in McDonald Highlands, and it has to be within the same few years of being built, and that kind of thing. So the appraisers all generally go by price per square foot on comparable.
Okay, yeah, because I was wondering how that works at that level, because there's got to be variations of quality.
But then we also
Like
have
huge
to
variations.
have to work with the appraisers, because let's just say some guy has a $4 million toilet, or he has a 10-car garage versus a 4-car garage on this other house. So we have to work with the appraisers to show them the pluses of this property.
So it probably happens a lot. Huh?
You ever have issues?
The only issues we come against sometimes is if the appraisers aren't as familiar with the high-end luxury as other ones, and so because you remember what happened from the crash. The appraisers are all on the rotation system now. And so sometimes you'll get an appraiser that maybe might not be as familiar with the high-end luxury, and we just have to educate
School them.
I do, and that's my job
too. Educate them. Dude, I love it. Mr. and Mrs. Appraiser.
Come here.
Let me show you.
Let me show you a few things here. So I can show you don't know what you're doing. Anyways, so
no, and I'm always very helpful.
I'm just kidding. Not a good way to have the appraisal come back at value.
No, I love appraisers.
They're my best friend.
I mean, how often does somebody need an appraisal, though? I mean, just honestly, like, does it pretty frequent right now, or is it like, well,
only if they're getting a loan?
Yeah.
So sometimes if they're getting a loan for construction loan, they'll send an appraiser out, and it'll be based on the. But they'll have to walk the property. And
how much does that matter if they're doing 50% down?
It depends on the bank. So it depends on the lender and what all their requirements are. And even when we're going to resale, I will get calls from appraisers, hey, was that house fully furnished, or was it, what was the, accessory items or whatever, I'll have to.
It was built by Dan Coletti. Raise the price.
Hey, so speaking of
we
that.
get $1 premium, just so you know.
Not even kidding, because I've done a lot of homework on a lot of our old resales, like houses we built 10, 15 years ago. I have a thing that I've done at work that shows that SunWest Custom Homes retain their value and sell for anywhere between like $100 and $500 a square foot higher than what the neighborhood's going for. Not even joking. It depends on the neighborhood, but I had one that was, and I tried to compare median prices.
That's actually super smart to do.
Yeah, well, and it shocked me because I didn't realize, at the time how
but
what a discrepancy
it shows the value of the quality and the reputation that you're paying for.
Yep, and again, and you hit it. So it's Dan Coletti. First of all, it's his design, but it's also the quality of build by SunWest Custom Homes. Just the process.
Yeah, I mean, listen, dude, people aren't just like walking, stumbling in. Oh, who are you? SunWest. Oh, Dan Coletti. Oh, I guess I'll let this guy build my house. Like, you know what I mean? It's well thought out, and they've researched him, and they know.
You hope that people have done their homework.
So not all the time.
Well, I mean, people that have found us, yes. Yeah. People that know us know us, and they.
But you've had other people where they have no idea who Dan is.
Well, we've had people who, hey, what's the difference between you guys and so, and I'm like, okay, well, let me tell you who we are.
Let me bring it. Sit down.
So
I'm school you.
Yeah. Well, so some people people aren't familiar, and they learn the new process. But I always send them to our website, and then a lot of people will also ask me for, well, do you have any past clients that you can give us as referrals? And I'll send them on to whoever, like, hey, can I have so and so call you? Yes, no problem. And another testimonial to SunWest is that we have built for about 5 or 6 different clients now. We have either built them a second home, or now we are currently building a third home for 2 of our clients.
Wow.
So that's a huge testimonial as well.
100%. 100%.
Just going over the website here again. I just want to take a look at it.
Dude, I'm telling you, his designs are just off the charts, dude.
Look at all this right here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Special needs, residents.
And you don't know this about me, but I don't impress worth a crap. Like, I'm just like, oh, great, big deal, dude. Like, but Dan Coletti, man, this dude's...
He's on another level.
He's at another level, man. You got to give it up when someone is.
Yeah.
So,
he's trendsetter. He
100%.
does amazing things. We do really cool stuff. He'll do custom furnishings sometimes. Like, I'm looking at this table's pretty cool that you have sitting here in front of me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, he did a pretty cool job with the room, didn't he?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's like makes you feel.
Yeah. So when he's designing homes, sometimes like he'll say, hey, you know what'd go really cool right here is a desk where it's hanging by cable from the ceiling.
Yeah.
He'll do that during the design phase of a house. Just to
go to galleries.
Things.
Bring up the galleries.
Let's take a look. You want to look at galleries, you guys?
Dude, yeah, bring it up galleries, man.
Okay, let's take a look at this real quick.
I want to. Forget anyone else.
Do these have like okay?
Dude,
so
look at this.
Let's just take a look
at this. That's the new American home.
Dude, that's stupid. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's
look at that, man.
Dude, what I tell you.
Right.
Look at that.
Dude, look at that.
Yeah.
And the tones of it with the elements of everything. I mean, dude. Even the overall view, the way it's lined. Mm-hmm. He thinks of it all. I'm telling you, he thinks of it all, man.
We're looking at the strip right here on this. Where is this located?
That's in Askaya.
In Askaya, wow.
Up there in the hills.
Brett's over here like,
dude, I'm telling you. It's just, there's no one.
It's not another level.
Dude, you just can't compete with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's take a look at another thing. Let's look inside some of this stuff here. Look at that, man.
Man, I got to sell more homes. That's what I'm thinking right now. I got to sell a bunch of these.
That's just
How do you
unreal.
sell these buyers?
Look at that wine rack.
Like, I want to live. I will not be happy until I live in something like this.
That wine room was cool too because he lit it from the floor up, so it was shooting up.
Dude, see?
So it was neat.
Can you imagine going home to that every night, man?
I wouldn't want to mess anything up. I would go home.
Yeah, I would be like it's like a damn museum. I don't want to even walk on my floor. You know?
I wouldn't want to mess with anything if I went there.
Dude,
also, too.
What a house to bring people to, though.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
you don't need to say anything. It's a statement.
Here's the difference. I think from this though is it's normal for people like that, right? So it's not. And we're not obviously in that.
That's
category.
true.
But it's like they probably go home and it's almost like this is all I know, or this is all I've known for the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
If it's almost like me going and buying like $150,000 car,
yeah,
nobody's going to be able to get into it.
It's all relative.
It's crazy because it's all relative. It's the best thing I've get, and I might, in my mind, I might not ever have it again.
But if that's all you see every day and all you know,
then that's all you know. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you can have
what you get comfortable with and what you know.
Yeah, we'll just have somebody fix it. I don't know.
Are people? I know there's a mixed bag of every kind of person and whatever level in life there is. But for the most part, are people pretty easy to work with at that level, or cool, or are they, nice to you, but they're, can be very egocentric, or
I think there's got to be.
Because I know if I could buy a $50 million house, you'd know who Brett Jenny is walking in the room. I'll tell you that right now.
So you'd be the guy I'd have to butter off all the time.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't, because most of my, I would freak out because I wouldn't even I'm used to not having that kind of money. So if all of a sudden I did, I'd be like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I'd freak.
We would help you with that.
Yeah. Well, that's what you need.
Right. No, most of our clients are just super, super great, but some of them are very strong business people, and they know what they want, like you said. So and they are business people, and so they know how to negotiate, and they know, so they aren't.
You kind of know what you're getting at the beginning, though.
Yeah. Well, and, Dan, it's really funny when we are in our very beginning meetings with people. Mm-hmm. He'll call it sort of a courtship. And then, you know, when we start, when we're dating, you know, when we're having the initial conversations.
Courtship, when I say goes. Anyways,
yeah.
they just don't know it yet, like a wife. So.
Yeah. Well, then when we go to design your custom home, it's kind of an engagement. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
So, and then right when we're just about ready to sign the construction side of it, you know, that's the committed marriage, you know, because now we're in this together for 2 years.
2 years.
Dude.
And
so
I mean,
this is a marriage, and we have to commit to each other. So either you like me, or I like you, or we don't, and let's part ways now.
we have to get along to get this done.
Mm-hmm. And you have to trust me, and I have to trust you.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm going to give you a beautiful home, but you need to pay me for that, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, there's a trust factor.
Yeah, like, I mean...
that is happening.
Especially some at that level. Like, come on, man, you know what level you're buying in.
Right.
Like, you want the quality. Like, you pay for what you get. Like, you've got enough money in life to know that's a fact. Mm-hmm. So, if you can afford it, awesome. Yeah. That's what we're here for. Mm-hmm. But...
Right. How often does people... I got a question about this. How often do people actually put money down like that, which is a crazy amount of money, right? And they're about halfway in, and they're like, you know what?
Have you ever had anyone bail?
Well, that's what I'm going to say. What happens if somebody's like, you know what? We already got like 3/4 or halfway done. Can they just back out of that? Or is there some
at
type
that
of
level?
legal...
Call the lawyer.
Yeah, there's some... there's legal issues at that point, right? Like, you can't just back out like you could on a traditional buying a new home.
Right. So we've not had anybody do that, but there are ways around that. And I'll use an example. We did have folks one time tell us, but they told us this from the very beginning. Hey, guys, we our own selves want to furnish and like Venetian plaster the walls, and we want to do our own landscape. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to, I want you to finish the house all the way up to a certain point. We will pay you out 100% and you're done. And then now we're going to take it from here. So what we got them to was all the way to the C of O, with certificate of occupancy, because you can do that without painting walls or
you guys are willing to do that?
Or, well, for these particular people, we don't do it all the time. I mean, we would much rather hand you your key and you move in. You know, because we don't want you to be going a year from now.
Dude, you can't do that to an artist because he's like an artist, dude. That's that's like Da Vinci creating a statue or. You know, Michelangelo creating a mill of David, and then someone come in and be like, you know what?
Let me do that myself.
Let me just finish the rest of it. Dude, I'm an artist.
Yeah, let me put that smile on.
That's because that's ultimately what it is.
So we don't generally do that, but that was like one exception. But no, we don't generally have people stop in the middle of the process. You know, I mean, but there was about, I think, once or twice where we designed the home, got it all completed, finished, and then the people ended up moving to Hawaii instead. You know, so now you have this, you know, beautiful design, but then now the people, you know, have paid for it. Of course, they paid for it entirely, but then they didn't end up building the house, you know, kind of a thing.
Oh, unfortunately, I can't live in that $15 million house. I got to go to Hawaii. So
I'm moving away instead.
I know it'll take a couple years. I don't need that $15 million for
it. Right.
You can get it someday. That's cool, man.
Yeah. But most of the time they're committed and they go through the whole process.
Isn't it crazy? Like, we don't know how much money's out there.
I love it.
Yeah.
We don't really know how much money's out there, and it's like when you start talking like this, it's almost like it's just normal.
There's some rich people, dude.
It's just normal. Like, you know, I always say, you know, we have a high clientele of like the average clientele that we get is pretty good. You know, it's like anywhere from, I'm going to say 600 to about 1.5. Really, I mean that's
for regular folks. That's good.
But I'm thinking that's
peasants.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's like another level stuff, right? You mean you got people that have that. And then now she's talking about like a total another.
Dude, I'm from a town of 800 people in Wisconsin, where the average house is 110,000.
Okay, you got to go back to gallery. You need to see the 2019.
I got to see this. All right,
dude.
Let's go back. Where are we at now?
Yeah, so X out of there. Go back up to gallery.
Okay.
And then click on the.
Let me click into here. Okay.
Go down.
Go down. Let's go down.
Sorry, go back up.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry.
Well, when is it?
It's the 2019 New American Home. And it's also very amazing.
Look at that sky side right there, man.
Dude,
Yeah, that's the big one. Skyside was
that's
the big
one in the
$30
Ridges I was
million
talking about.
one.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
take
the
a
one
look
in
at
the Ridges I was
$30 million.
talking about. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, dude. It's the most expensive home on the market here.
I mean, that's not what
Is this it?
Yeah, dude, watch the video on it. You'll cry.
It's
Like-
that home. So I have to caveat. So it was listed for $30 million by the homeowner just about a year and a half ago.
Whoa, what did it sell for?
I don't think they sold it. They pulled it off the market,
Okay.
and they're still living there.
Look
But
at this.
We built that house for a customer, for sure.
Dude,
It's got
That's in the
it's got a
Ridges.
moat.
That's
Yeah.
in the Ridges.
dude, I love the Ridges. I used to live across the street.
Oh, you got the drone action too going. It's
Yes.
pretty sick, man.
Yes.
Dude, look at that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I just think it's just look at this.
Look at that, dude. And there's nothing.
Is that an outdoor theater?
yeah. On
Oh my
Dude,
God.
look at nothing behind you.
It's on the rooftop deck because
So I
they
used
don't
to
have
go
a
running
backyard.
behind there.
Yes.
I did.
See how they
You
don't
go
have a
run-
backyard, so we had
Yeah.
to put a rooftop deck on for them.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's like rain trails behind there
Yeah.
throughout the whole.
This is so
Goes
this,
back to the summit
I don't
and
want to
stuff.
say this sold for $30 million, but
Right.
did
They
it
had
sell for 30?
They had it for 30 million.
No, it was listed for $30 million.
Uh-huh.
And this is that 25,000 square foot home again with all
Jesus.
the indoor outdoor feel. It's 7 levels up in the mountains up
You know
there.
why it
Look
was
at
30?
that top level.
Dude, you know why it was 30 million? Because that's the price they wanted to put it at.
That's the price. Yeah, she wanted
I
to sell
mean,
it at,
yeah.
and it didn't sell. She had it listed for over a year, and
Yeah.
she took it off the market.
You could
afterwards,
say
so.
this or that of at that level. It's
That
Look
house
at this
too.
view. Oh my
dude.
God.
I'm telling you,
That
it's,
house in the basement is a basketball court, and they had a
It's stupid, dude.
karaoke little like room.
I can send you the whole
Had
MLS listing on it. It has all the
yeah.
pictures. You'll be like, dude, this is
Yeah.
just.
That's crazy.
Who
man.
was the listing agent on it?
It was Ivan at
Ivan?
first.
Okay.
And then Bob Barnhart had it for a little while.
Okay.
And then again,
Bob and Julie Barnhart.
Yeah. So then when it finally didn't sell, they ended up pulling it, and so like I said, they haven't put it back on the market again. But that's what those were listed.
What was
for
the home? You guys want to find that home that you were talking about, or
Yeah. So yeah, that one. Oh, sorry.
Right here.
This one.
Yeah.
This
That's
one.
the New American Home 2019.
this will be our last one we look at, but let's
Okay.
take a look at
and
it.
it's cool. You got to see
Dude, I love that.
the man cave style garage.
Dude, look at even underneath there, the way he did
Jesus.
that.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
awesome.
black. That's a black PebbleTech pool. So that was
Wow.
a pool. The
Dude.
bottom of the pool was black. It was very cool. But look down there. See where the red Ferrari is?
Yeah.
So that is a garage.
Is
and
this the
it
same
is-
room?
Click on it,
Yeah.
dude. Click on it.
I got to
It's
see this.
air conditioned and heated, and it's
Jesus fuck.
I know, and so
I can't swear. Sorry.
you can't swear, but it's got a keg fridge right there where where the TVs
Bro,
are.
that was my college, except I didn't have a Ferrari with me. I had my fake medical degrees on the wall, though. Wink, wink. No. Just kidding. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh man,
Yeah,
look at this.
yeah.
That's,
Three
that's,
TVs.
that's his garage.
That's the garage.
Oh my God, that's not a garage.
Dude, that's-
That's not a garage.
dude,
my garage has.
it's like being able to keep your car in your bedroom.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Dude,
Or
I
your
got a bar and a
motorcycle.
car in my bedroom.
Yeah.
My garage, dude, it looks like oil. It's got
Yeah.
tools. You know what I mean? It's got like weight room. This guy's got a Ferrari and or something.
Yours looks Section 8 compared to this. So does my house. I thought I was starting to do all right and all that. I'm like, dude, I'm Section 8. This is like...
It's crazy.
But they're mostly so great room style. So you stand at the front door, look straight through your great room, see what your view is. And not everybody has a view of the strip.
Yeah.
So some people it's their swimming pool and a fire feature. You know,
Yeah,
what I mean,
it's crazy.
Some people don't have that, but we try to capture whatever the view is, and that's what Dan tries to capture.
That's
in
what I
all the
mean. You see what I
designs.
mean? Like, it's in multiple angles throughout the house of where you're at that he aligned. Dude, I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
That he aligns everything like with the skyline and like it's
Yeah.
just...
And with
all
the-
that's in consideration when he designs it.
And with the multi-sliding doors, they can pocket away, so it just opens walls, and it's all about indoor-outdoor living. And the kitchen is indoor-outdoor kitchen, and so it just continues to outside. And again, it just depends on what the people want.
Do you ever have people come to you like that, maybe just know you, like your friends and things, and just are like, man, it's probably a blessing to go to work every day in that environment, right? Because,
I'm sure some days aren't.
well,
Depends on the client.
Just given the nature of the business.
I would think though that clients that come in with money,
Yeah.
I mean, they're picky, but I think it's like, hey, as long as I get the design and Dan takes over,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see why anybody would like.
You know what she does for a living? She manages egos.
That's exactly.
I know how to stroke egos.
Manage egos. Yeah. That's what you do for a living. You manage egos.
But the cool part, again, is that I'm kind of usually the first stop. So I answer a lot of questions. I get through the process to start with. Yeah. And then Dan meets up with them again to start the design process. And then again, my husband, Carl, steps in when it's building the home. It goes to his team, then the construction team. And then the interior designer and all that, So it's there, you get to be with different people at different phases during the process.
It's always too that isn't it always like the people that work at those builders, like they always got the bad homes too. Like they're always the like they got the insight on how to custom make them and everything, and so it's like. They probably have a home that's not as like this, but it's still a very luxurious home. Like people that work there.
If your sales agents can afford these homes, then can I put my application over?
Brett's already going to sign
on
up.
Monday. I'll have it over to you tonight. I mean, if your agents are living in that, how you doing?
They're not living in that.
Dan Coletti lives like that. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. The builders that run that, they also live in stuff like this. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm going to do this, but I bet his is probably just crazy.
If you're designing it for other people, you better for yourself.
His house is spectacular, and again,
really, that's a shocker.
Well, we used to actually. It's funny. Before we had our show home, we used to use his home as our show home. But it was a bummer for his wife because I'd always have to call her up and say, "We got to show your house tomorrow."
Hey, guess what?
And she'd be like, "Dang it, I got to get it cleaned up." And so it was a lot of fun, but once we got the show home, it was really great because we didn't have to do that anymore, and we had a place where we could just always have. We were open to the public. It was before all this dumb COVID stuff.
Yeah.
And, we were open to where people could just come up and come see a cool house whenever they wanted to, and it was all right. So.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I want to say this, though, Patty, right? Patty? Mm-hmm. Do people call you Patricia or Patty more?
Patty with a Y.
Okay.
What do you prefer? Not what people call it.
No. Patty is familiar, yes.
Patty's familiar.
Okay. Yeah.
So I want to say.
Never Pat.
Never Pat. No. That could be a
not if you want to keep your teeth.
That's right.
Dude, her husband, I heard.
Knocks people out.
Dude, Dan looks skinny, but dude, that guy can brawl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dan is not my husband. It's Carl. That was my husband.
No, I know, but I'm saying
good.
Dan and Carl. I know. No.
Brett. I'm just playing. So let's finish this up, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the French Workbench podcast. Patty, I know you don't need people to actually go to your website and, but it's probably good publicity a little bit, but I mean, you guys already are probably well known. So this is more of a personal thank you for coming on. You didn't have to, but I appreciate you coming on and explaining a little bit more on the higher end, right? This is a very high end home. And if you guys, ever want to talk with her, Sunwest Homes, Custom Homes, how does somebody get a hold of you, or what's the best way to get a hold of you if they wanted to talk to you?
They can definitely email me, Patty, Patty, at sunwestcustomhomes.com.
Okay.
Or they can call my cell. Can I give my number?
Yeah, if you want.
702-498-6641.
And Brett, I just want to say, man, you're always a pleasure coming on here. You bring another element, which is awesome. Man.
You don't have to talk the whole time.
No, I love it.
That's my value.
Your value goes. And listen,
it's all good.
Like you said, I was going to give him another, 5-hour energy drink, and we told him just to do one today. But you know what?
Well, you know what? My energy wasn't that high when I got here, but I really enjoyed learning things at the kind of this level and kind of the process and your experience with it. It's just an interesting thing to me. And whenever I'm interested in something, it's fun to me. And
yeah,
I get a bit excited.
We get people on like you, Patty, and I think if anybody out there is looking to get more information on new homes, we're going to do this again. Maybe not, if you want to, that's up to you. But we're trying to put information out on just all different topics on this show, French Workbench Podcast. So if you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll put Patty's information on this video. And any final thoughts? Anything?
No, I appreciate that you would have me here, so thank you so much.
I appreciate you being here as well.
It's awesome.
Taking the time on a Saturday afternoon. It's definitely appreciated.
Yeah, and you know what's great?
Thanks for educating me on.
She's very humble too.
No, you are. That was crazy. The thing. I was like, you're bringing in a dude. I'm like, those guys are at a whole different level. I didn't know what I was like. What kind of?
Yeah.
But you're super cool and laid back and.
I love my job.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun, and I get to work with my husband. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah. We have a really good time together.
Work with him and then come home to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You definitely love each other.
Thank goodness we dig each other.
Yeah. It might not work if
All right, guys, let's finish it up. You guys have if you guys got anything planned? Nothing today? All right, you
No,
guys.
just going home to eat, man.
Like I said, man, you guys subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys at the next show. Thank you for watching an episode of the French Workbench podcast. If you want to tune into past episodes, please subscribe to my channel now. Also, if you want to look at our audio-only options, we do have iTunes and SoundCloud.